Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in as always. In today's video we're going to take a look at the Liong Mah Endeavour. This is the newest model from Liong Mah, built by Riot Knives, and we'll go through the specs, overall impressions, and details just as always. Let me start by showing you guys what it ships with. Your normal branded pouch here has an additional patch, branded cloth, a secondary carry pouch that's also branded, so nice presentation as usual. All his knives come with that stuff. Alright, let's jump into the specs, and I will bring out the Para 2 here for a size comparison. That's pretty much it right there. 3.75 inch blade, 5-inch handle, 8.75 overall. You can see how it compares lengthwise with the Para 2 here. This one does weigh in at 5.46 ounces on my scale, and of course this is a fully contoured titanium frame lock flipper with an S35 VN blade. The handle thickness 0.53 inches, so pretty much on par there with the Para 2. There's a look at the blade steel thickness. Also seems fairly comparable. The blade steel thickness is 0.157 inches thick of, again, S35 VN. So those are the specs for the most part. Stainless steel lock insert, 3D milled clip, ceramic bearing, ceramic detent ball, and yeah. Okay, so as far as my overall impressions, among the Liong Mah designs, this one is definitely the largest and the beefiest of the ones that I've had or handled from him at this point. So it has kind of a definitely more robust feel, but with his knives, you're getting really nice design work. Obviously a beautiful execution. He has excellent transitions between the blade and the handle. We've got a hidden flipper tab in the open position. So you're getting really nice design work combined with Riot Knives killer fit and finish. Always a safe option. You always know that you're going to get a quality piece, whether it's from Liong Mah or from Riot Knives, so you don't really have to worry. And as I mentioned, it is kind of the largest and most robust of his offerings at this point. So those are my overall impressions. No qualms with fit and finish. A few minor things that I would have liked to see different, but again, I have my own preferences and they may not be yours. We'll go through those, but let's go ahead and start off with the action. So this one is primarily a flipper. We do have a low profile flipper tab with some jimping. Moderate traction. I actually would have liked to see this a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit sharper, or perhaps a little bit wider. If you place your finger on it deliberately, you're going to get an excellent flip each and every time. I have no problem flipping it with any of my fingers here. Flips really well. But if you haphazard it, you're not going to get it on the top there. So deliberate finger placement is a must for the flipper tab. Now, based on customer feedback, apparently a lot of customers were telling him that they wanted alternate methods of opening. So with this one, he has placed kind of a large fuller here with a hole in it. Obviously a beautiful design element, but it does have a functional benefit in the fact that you can roll the knife open. Now, does it function as well as a Spyderco hole? No, but it definitely works. So yeah, there we go. Nice solid kick there with the thumb, middle finger, no problem there. Works pretty well. Also with the action, you do want to keep your fingers off the lock bar. I've had so many frame lock flippers that I just do it out of habit. I use the pocket clips as a traction point, and then I don't have any pressure on this finger. In fact, I can keep it completely off, and that's essentially how I flip my knife. So the interesting thing is that if someone doesn't point it out to me, a lot of times I don't even realize that lock bar pressure plays a factor in flipping action of a lot of knives, because out of habit I just I keep pressure off the lock bar because I've had so many. So anyways, if you do put pressure on the lock bar, it does become a little bit harder to open, so just be mindful of that. But I think that's pretty much it for the blade. One other thing, well, let's take a look at it in detail here. So Again, flat grind, S35VN. There's the Liong Mah design logo. There's the fuller with a, I don't know, maybe a heavy media blast before they went through and satined the entire knife. And as you can see, you know, with these knives, they are machine ground, but after they're machine ground, they are taken and put against a belt sander by hand to eliminate any machine marks on the knife, and then you get a nice, you know, vertical satin. The flats are horizontal satin. Again, the media blast in there with the, you know, the fuller and the cutout. Blade steel designation. You know, no machine marks. Again, it's a really clean blade. There is his kind of signature sawtooth or, you know, blade saw type of jimping on the spine, which works really well and really aids in the control and kind of the overall ergonomics of the knife. So very functional jimping, just as on all his models. The blade stops are inserted into the blade, and you know, they go through the channel and the handle here that's milled out. So, you know, no blade stop on the back here. Makes for a cleaner, you know, cleaner look without an extra stop pin here. As far as whether it's functionally better, I have no idea. But you know, Riot's been doing that for a while now, and other knife companies have picked up, you know, the same type of stop pin setup. So, yeah, action, really smooth. If I haven't already mentioned it, any of the knives from Riot, they come pretty smooth, but after a couple weeks they actually break into be much smoother, so they do have a break-in period. Titanium pivot collar around your Torx pivot there. You do have Torx heads on both sides, so yeah, again, the design element, you know, from the handles to the flipper tab. Very clean transition, but then it also gives you a little bit better purchase there, so yeah. Centering is perfect. Lockup is about, I don't know, maybe 40% or so. Solid, no movement, just as you would expect. Now here's one of the cool things about this knife. Blind screwed here on the show side, so there are no screws showing at all. You know, obviously there's the pivot, but you don't have the screw holes like you do on the back side. And this is actually quite a difficult achievement, considering that they've rounded you know, the handles pretty aggressively here, very aggressively contoured, and so the tolerances as you're trying to get the screw, you know, into the handle here at this point and this point while being contoured, you know, that really does take those tolerances to a very tight level, to not, you know, basically, you know, grind through the titanium and have an exposed, you know, screw there. Now, another cool feature on this knife is the, I don't know, semi-integral backspacer. We first saw this on actually the Riot Horizon A, which was the first knife that they brought to the U.S. market, and what really won a lot of people over, including me. That was the first knife I got from Riot, and this was a feature that I absolutely loved on that Horizon A, and it was a feature that Liong wanted to incorporate into one of his models at some point, but it's obviously a lot more expensive to machine because you're starting out with, you know, pretty thick slabs here of titanium, you know, a lot more wasted material. But again, the benefit is kind of a semi-integral backspacer, but you still can go in here and skeletonize the handles pretty aggressively, which they did on this model. And, you know, obviously you can't do that with an integral. So, you know, a little bit of the best of both there. I like it. Again, the really kind of a testament to the tolerances when you do this type of handle construction. Lanyard hole on the back. Again, a lot of material here on the lanyard hole. Pretty, you know, pretty robust. A blind screw pocket clip, and the screw's way down in there somewhere, sandwiched in between the handles for the pocket clips, or for the pocket clip, I'm sorry. Now, another thing that they did on the pocket clip is they actually improved the strength of the pocket clip, so it's less likely to break. So I don't know if you guys can see, but here, where you mill, you know, Basically, you mill out this portion here. Instead of squaring it, they rounded it, which apparently makes for a stronger pocket clip when it's not squared right here. It's rather rounded. They also incorporated a kind of a large, almost, ball style clip. So you guys have probably seen the clips that have a ball inserted into them. Same concept here. They started out with a pretty thick piece of titanium, ground away a lot of material, and so you get this ball style pocket clip, and creates a huge lip here for really thick jeans, which again I'm a big fan of. And this one goes in and out of the pocket, no problems. Really good tension, a very functional pocket clip. As you guys can see, it carries fairly deep. I mean, it's probably right about there. You've got about that much sticking out of your pocket. Milled here on the interior to make it really easy to disengage. So, yeah. Alright, let's see if I missed anything. Ooh, I think that's pretty much it. Now, one thing, so, kind of two of my critiques are, one, I would have liked the jimping here a little bit sharper. My hands are pretty well calloused, so it wouldn't bother me in the slightest, and I'd get more traction on the flipper tab. But for those of, or for anyone who, doesn't have calloused hands, perhaps this is more than adequate. That would be one thing that I would like different. The other thing, and I told Liong about this, is I would love if they incorporated some type of, again, maybe jimping here on the pocket clip that would give it a really good extraction point as you pull this thing out of the pocket. The contoured and the stonewash finish, very user-friendly, very attractive, pretty smooth though, so for pocket extraction, it's not impossible. In fact, it's not too big of a problem, but I do like when there's some traction on the pocket clip. And so by way of example, like with Spyderco, you get a really nice traction spot with those 3 screws. It makes extraction really, really easy. So this knife would probably benefit from a small lanyard just to give you some additional purchase or traction for pocket extraction. Anyways, I think that pretty much covers it. Don't think I missed anything. Let's take one quick look, macro shot if we can. Again, that really nice integration here of the flipper tab. Did forget to mention there is a small choil, well, kind of a finger choil of sorts here. With the very functional jimping, it works well. I've used it once or twice, no problems, didn't slip on it. Alright, back to the macros. Alright, we'll leave it there. So, in summation, I suppose, again, beautiful design, excellent fit and finish. Honestly, you can't find a better OEM manufacturer to work with than Riot. So, well done, Liong Mah, well done, Riot Knives. Thanks so much for watching, guys. More videos to come as always, so stay tuned.